This city is too small for us, Dunk. I never got nothing by waiting around. You want a family? Go out there. Get a family.
Sir taught me sword and shield. Away from castles and servants.
Someone will remember him. He spoke of his time in your service as his very finest. I know him not, man.
This is undignified, sir.
No, goose eggs, like goose eggs.
You must think me a fool.
All men are fools.
Head knight, will you heed my call to war?
All men are knights.
Shut up.
After the tournament, I can stay in as your squire.
If I lose my first joust, I'll scarcely be a knight.
But if you win,
Mind your pride, Ser Duncan. There are princes about.
he's touching her.
It is never wise to strike a king's grandson. I have no choice. Trial by combat must be held at dawn.
That means battle axes and lances of war.
I know what it means.
I always knew you meant trouble.
Now, come out, little knight. It's time you face the dragon.
Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome back for another video. So we just got done watching the new trailer for episode 2 for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This is kind of a teaser trailer for not just what's going to be in episode 2, but what's coming this entire season. There's 6 episodes in all. This is kind of a look forward trailer. It's not just showing us episode 2 clips, it's showing us 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're getting a rundown of the entire season, but it's showing just how much action-packed info is going to be going on this season. We're going to break down just some of the Easter eggs that stood out to me initially from the trailer. Make sure to drop in the comments what are some of the things that you saw. Leave it in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment, and let's jump right into the trailer breakdown. And the trailer actually starts off right off the bat. You see what's presumed obviously to be a young Dunk crawling through the streets. He said that he was from the King's Landing initially. He's from Flea Bottom. He's from one of the poorest areas in the Seven Kingdoms. He's crawling around what looks to be the sewer, talking to what's probably going to be his mother, the dark-haired lady there. She's telling him that he needs to go find his own family, make his own name for himself, basically setting up that there's a higher, larger destiny out there looking for him. And then that takes us to a battlefield. If you actually look in the very back there, that's the Red Keep. So this is just outside of King's Landing. That's a young Doug. So this is obviously one of the battles from the Blackfire Rebellion, which was one of the Targaryen civil wars. There's going to be a couple of those civil wars. I think there's 3 in total that happens. This is the first one. So this is a battle that took place just outside of King's Landing. He's just kind of rummaging through the casualties. They're basically trying to get armor, trinkets, things that he can sell for money, showing you just how poor he is currently and what's going on situationally. This is probably taking place maybe, 10 to 15 years before the show that we're watching right now. But he's young, he's in the gutter, going through the battlefield, setting up just where he is right now and where he's going to be going in the future. And then you have the cutscene of him putting on the helmet as a child, and then that jumps to him putting on his full suit of armor in the current day at the tourney. If you remember from episode 1, he was told the only way one of the requirements for him to compete in the tourney at Ashford was he had to have a full suit of armor, not just the helmet. The way that he gets that, he ends up actually The way that he gets it is he's actually able to reforge some of Ser Arlen's armor. He makes that into his own too, because obviously Ser Arlen is a lot shorter than him. He's Dunk the Tall. He's a very large person, so he actually has to reforge the armor in order to fit his massive body. And then we have who's probably going to be Baylor Breakspear talking to Dunk right now. He's technically the highest ranked prince. He's the heir to the throne, so he's talking to the next guy up once the king passes away. Then you have a scene of Ser Arlen leaving with Dunk. So they're going to set up something of how they actually cross paths, how he ends up actually asking to be a squire. It's probably going to mirror pretty similar to what Egg did, showing resiliency, chasing down the knight, showing that he was worthy to be a squire, because obviously something caught Dunk's eye in Egg. He saw himself back when he was young, back in King's Landing, back in Flea Bottom. So obviously they're going to parallel that to the time that happened back then. Then you have a scene of Ser Arlen doing some sword fighting. He's obviously training Dunk how to use a sword. We have yet to actually see Dunk fight, but you know what's in store for this guy going forward. He has a massive future. We're not going to spoil anything here, but he will become a very storied, lauded knight. We know that he can fight, and Ser Arlen's the one who taught him. Then we have several clips of the Baratheon tent party. We already saw this in episode 1. Lionel Baratheon, and the guy loves the party. The guy's a good time, has a good time with his liege lords. He's having another good time right here, but we know when he means business, he means business. He's a laughing knight. He loves to fight as well. All of that will come into play later, but right now, every single night, the guy's having a party. And then we have a couple quotes of Dunk talking about basically this episode is about salt and pork. What it means, it's about the small folk. It's about the lower people, their story. All of these lords, you've noticed a lot of the lords, just calling it like it is, they're kind of douchebags to him because he's a hedge knight. He's not highborn. He's not on their level. They don't treat him with respect. They don't value him. They're looking down at him. So it's showing the split between the upper class, the ruling class, and the small folk. Dunk comes from the small folk. So finally, unlike the other two Game of Thrones, we are seeing things from the average Joe's perspective. Kind of the one person who has given him some credit so far has been Lionel Baratheon, who actually sees something in Dyke. He's seen something as an important person, someone he can have fun with, but also someone who's just honest to him, doesn't treat him just like some other high lord, but actually talks to him like a regular person, and he respects that because he's honest. Then we have Dunk going into detail to Egg of why he needs to find a lord to remember him. That's the only way for him to get in the tourney. Yes, he has to get the full suit of armor, but he has to be recognized by a knight. He has to find someone who remembers Ser Arlen of Penetree, who would then just remember him, because no one as of right now has been able to remember him. So someone has to vouch for Ser Arlen, which through that would be vouching for Dunk as well, because you obviously have to be a knight in order to fight in the tourney. And then we have some of the lords sitting here. This is probably, I'm assuming this is going to be Lord Tyrell. I mean, they are within their lands, obviously, for this tourney. They're all dressed in green. We'll find out, but it's probably Lord Tyrell as of right now. They're going to want to make sure to sprinkle them in because obviously they play a massive part in the original Game of Thrones show. And again, he's not being rude to Dunk, but he kind of has that scoffy douchebag look on his face. And they're also setting up here that Lord Tyrell, who I think is a Lord Tyrell, probably a little bit of a douchebag, setting up that all these high-ranking lords look down on the lower-born people, look down on the small folk. Lionel respects him. Egg respects him. He has the respect of a couple people, but a lot of people, they won't respect him till he's a knight with a name. Then we introduce ourselves to, again, Tanzel Too Tall. This is going to be the love interest in the show. We see him interacting with her. He's playing kind of the big, clumsy, dumb guy, but we know there's a whole lot more to Dunk than meets the eye. And then you have Lionel's always looking for a good fight. He's the laughing knight because he loves to laugh and crack up during fights. The guy's kind of crazy. I think they said that they base his portrayal off of Jack Sparrow. So you're kind of going to get that vibe right here. He's asking Dunk if he heeds his call to war. Gotta love the wording there. They're not going to war. They're going to a what's it called when you pull the ropes back and forth? But that's what they're going to do, tug of war. So it's a tug of war, not a battle, but yet it is showing the seriousness of the Baratheons. They love a fight. They love to throw down. They are rebellious in their nature, but it's also showing the bond between these guys. When he's looking for one more person, he sees Dunk, and that's going to be his guy. And just kind of speaking on the Baratheons, are we ever going to get a Robert's Rebellion show? That would be the biggest thing ever. I think that would surpass how big the OG Game of Thrones show was. People have been wanting that forever. They're not going to do it. It's probably too soon right now, but at some point, you got to keep your fingers crossed. Give us a Robert Rebellion show. That would be massive. Seeing actually what happened, what went down with Rhaegar, Lyanna. Give us the clips. We got some flashbacks. There's a whole lot more there, though, and we want to see it. That would be awesome. Then you see Aerion Targaryen here assaulting Tansel Too Tall. Looks like he's going to cut her finger off, bite her finger off. He is planning to hurt her, and obviously Dunk, being the honest, true knight, this is what's showing is he's the honorable person here. He's going to do what knights should do, stand up for the low folk, stand up for the distressed, and he comes to her rescue, and obviously he beats the crap out of Aerion Targaryen, which takes us into our next scenes. You cannot strike a prince. This is Prince Aerion. He's a Targaryen. We all know who his grandfather is. There has to be punishment here. Even if the prince deserved it, you can't strike a prince. Dunk is going to take his punishment like an honorable knight, though he has the option. Get your hand cut off that struck the prince. What are you going to do without your right hand if you're a hedge knight? You can't really swing a sword. That's not an option. The only other option is going to be a trial by combat. In this show, it's going to be a trial by 7. It is going to be awesome. It's going to be so climactic. And I'm assuming it's probably going to happen around episode 5. That's where you're going to get the trial of 7. It's going to be huge. Episode 6 is going to be all of the repercussions, everything that falls out after this. But no matter what, this really pumps you up. For those who have read the book, this is such a good book. I would put this book on par with the original Game of Thrones books. You don't have dragons. You don't have all the High Lords. There's not all the bickering going on for the throne, which is really fun stuff. But that's the Game of Thrones story. This is a different story within that world, but it's just as good. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment below. What are the Easter eggs that stood out to you? Leave it down there. I will respond to every comment. And as always, thank you for watching.